Hey guys, what's happening? It's Sean here bringing you another how-to video. Today we're going to remove the rear wheel on a 2022 Honda Grom. Now this video could apply to other Grom generations and model years as well. This is the RR or third generation. So let's take a look at what we're going to need today. First things first, you're going to need something to get the rear wheel off the ground. I'm going to use a Pitbull mini rear stand. This stand actually fits the Grom perfectly. I've used Pitbull products since 2016 and they've never let me down. I'm not affiliated with them at all, by the way, just a good quality company that makes good quality products. So that's what I'll be using. You can use a jack stand, maybe get away with some sort of motorcycle lift or center stand too, but we need to get this rear wheel off the ground. Next, I've got a couple 3/8 drives here with a 19mm socket and a 14mm socket. Those are for the rear axle and the axle nut. Could be helpful, it's kind of optional at this point to have a breaker bar, but I do have one of those to help remove that rear axle nut if it's on pretty tight. And then I've got a 3/8 drive torque wrench. That's another optional thing, but I would highly recommend it so we get the right torque specs when we go and tighten that axle nut. And then it never hurts to grease your rear axle while you have it out of the bike. So let's take a look here. First step is with the bike on the ground, we're gonna take that 19mm socket and we're gonna loosen up this rear axle nut. And we're gonna need to have tension still on this side of the axle, and that's where your 14mm will come into play. Okay, with that rear axle nut loose, I was able to use the rear stand to get the rear wheel off the ground. With the rear wheel off the ground, you can now remove the rear axle nut, set it aside, and also take this spacer off. Now with that spacer and rear axle nut off, we can start to twist out the rear axle itself. And I found it can be helpful to rotate the wheel while you do this, but you'll simply start pulling the rear axle here and remove it from the bike while supporting the rear wheel so that it doesn't just come falling down. Okay, with the rear axle removed, I wanted to show you the process of removing the rear wheel from the motorcycle. You can see I've already completed this process as it's difficult to do and film at the same time. But in my case, my rear caliper is mounted lower. This is an aftermarket bracket here due to the Brembo brake setup that I have. But what you'll do is slide the wheel out of the brake caliper, and you can see where that rotor sits in the pad. So regardless of however your caliper is oriented, if it is in the stock positioning, that's okay. You're simply gonna slide the rear rotor out of the brake caliper. At the same time, you're going to try to move the wheel slightly forward or tilt it at an angle so that you can get enough chain slack to pull the chain off of the rear sprocket. And I tend to just set my chain off to the side like that to keep it out of the way. With the rear wheel removed, if you're like me, the reason you wanted to remove your rear wheel is to get the rubber replaced. I still have the original, they call it V rubber on this 2022 Honda Grom. So what I'm gonna do is replace it with some performance racing rubber. I do plan to road race this bike. So the next thing we'll wanna do, make sure both sides you've removed the outside wheel spacer. And now on the sprocket side, I'm going to work the sprocket and the carrier off the bike. And you can see I've got some upgraded push drive here, but I'm gonna remove all of these, including this inner wheel spacer. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm not replacing this rear wheel myself. I'm gonna bring it to a buddy at a shop. In my opinion, it's so much easier just dropping it off. A local shop can do it for you. And if you remove the rear wheel yourself, it'll save you a bunch of money. Before we reinstall the wheel, now's a great time to go through your parts, get them cleaned up. You can see they've got some grease, some dust, some dirt. I'm gonna go through, clean this axle up. You can use one of these blue shop rags, but I'm gonna wipe everything down, get it nice and clean, and then I'm gonna use some of this Valvoline multi-vehicle grease, and I'm just gonna put a thin layer of film across this axle. Here's a quick tire comparison now that the wheel is back from the shop with the new rubber mounted. Here's the stock V rubber in the 130/70/12 size, and this is the Mitas MC35 S Racer 2.0 with the Racing Street compound, and I ended up getting a 120/80/12 tire size for a slightly thinner rear tire, which should help the bike turn in, and for racing purposes I think it'll be a better tire for me. Now we're going to reinstall our cush drive like that with these little slots over top of the wheel, and this spacer is the inner spacer. It's going to go like this actually, so this tip is going to be pointed down like that, and this will sit over top. What I'm actually going to do is see if I can get this guy, now that it's all cleaned up, I'm going to insert it like that and see if I can carefully place the sprocket and the carrier over top without getting that little spacer to fall out. With the sprocket and sprocket carrier reinstalled on the wheel, I'm now ready to get the wheel remounted to the bike. So a couple of steps here. Make sure you get your swing arm spacer right there. I've got the axle. You can see a little thin line of grease over it, and you've got it resting on the swing arm there. You don't want it sticking in, otherwise it could grab your spacer. And then I've got the chain back on the rear sprocket. You can see I've got the wheel currently pushed all the way forward in the swing arm. Over here, I've got my pads ready to go. If you do have a little bit of trouble lining up that rear rotor with the brake pads, you can use a flat blade screwdriver and pry those apart a little bit if you need to. The bigger the screwdriver, the better. You don't want to mess up your pads in that process. And if you don't need to mess with it, don't do it. But if you're really fighting getting the rotor into the pads, that's a simple trick. Here's the orientation of the rear wheel spacers. They are different. Notice how they have a different overall length and profile. So this side there is going to go into the wheel seal. So see if I can film it on the other side of the swing arm here. So I'm going to get that installed. And then this guy is going to go in that way. So I'm going to go sneak in here and get that one reinstalled too on the rear rotor side. Okay, now we're ready to go. I'm just going to line up that rear rotor with the brake pads, and I've got this ready to go to slide in once I get everything lined up. With a little finesse, you should be able to get the axle all the way through. You can see how everything's lined up on my bike. Again, I do have this different bracket, but yours should be similar. One thing I found that was helpful is I actually took the rear brake and was able to get it on the rotor after I had everything lined up on the left side. So I basically slotted the rear caliper and pads over the rear rotor and slid it into the groove here on the swing arm and was able to get everything lined up. If you need to, again, you can use a rubber mallet or something and tap the axle through. But once you get it lined up, everything should slide into place. Give yourself some time and some patience and grace, because it is a tricky process. And then, of course, to wrap things up here, make sure you get that in line, and then we can hand thread our rear axle nut. So really quick, before we tighten up that rear axle nut, I wanted to show you, here's how you adjust your chain. You've got this 13mm nut right here and this 13mm bolt. So you'll just use two open 13mm wrenches. You'll loosen this one up first, and then in half-turn increments, you can either tighten or loosen up this one, and that will move your rear axle forward or backward. And you can see these little tick marks on the swing arm. That will help you know where you're at on this side. And then, of course, you'll need to do the exact same on this side to make sure that you keep your chain flowing freely, and you want it straight, not cockeyed one way or another. So now that we're ready to tighten up the rear axle nut, I wanted to show you the torque specs here. So this is the Grom service manual. I've got rear axle nut, and you can see that third value is pound-feet. So we're gonna do 44 pound-feet of torque on this rear axle. Now, to tighten up the rear axle nut, we're gonna push the wheel all the way forward to make sure it's all the way against the stops for the chain. And then I'm gonna take it off the rear stand and use my torque wrench, the 19 millimeter over there. And I've got a 14 mil socket for that side. That's how we're gonna tighten up that rear axle nut. There you have it. You've successfully removed and reinstalled the rear wheel on a 2022 Honda Grom. If this video was able to help you out, please like and subscribe for more how-to videos. Thanks everybody. God bless.